bunch of stories here. I'm gonna read. First, we will be reading a funny story. First story we will be reading is the title of the story is Mill. Words might I repeat. Words I say might be wrong. The grammar, I mean. We'll try again. We'll try. Millie and the Midnight Monsters. Shall I say it in whispered style or in like this style? Let's do it both. First we'll do normal. Millie and the Midnight Monsters. Okay. This is Millie. Okay, this is Millie. Can you see it? I hope you are able to see it. Am I visible? Okay. Listen. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Millie's eyes snapped open. Something was at her bedroom door. She pulled the covers up to her nose. She pulled the covers up to her nose. Okay. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Okay, the scratch, scratch, scratch. I mean, that's the sound coming from the door. Okay. Millie grabbed Mr. Bunny. He had a bunny toy. She was scared. What's out there, Mr. Bunny? She whispered. Winds. The door swung open. The door opened. Millie held her breath. Tap, tap, tap. Something was coming across the floor. Something was coming across the It stopped right next to bed. It's there. It's there. Millie leaned over the side very slowly. Two little eyes looked up. It was Pickles the cat. It was Pickles the cat. And was just sitting. Okay, now I will say it like this. Just sitting there, licking her paw, looking very unimpressed. The cat was sitting there, licking her paw, very unimpressed. Pickles, you scared me. Millie said. Pickles jumped on the bed, curled up, and went straight to sleep. Thanks for that, said Millie. She turned to go back to sleep. It was coming from downstairs. Millie grabbed her flashlight from the bedside table. She looked at Mr. Bunny. His eyes were wide and wonky. Okay. Don't be scared, Mr. Bunny. It's a toy. It's talking with us. Toy. She's talking with us. Don't be scared, Mr. Bunny, said Millie. We have got this. She crept down the stairs, one step at a time. The thumping was coming from the kitchen. The Something was coming from the kitchen. Bang. That time. Millie's flashlight was shaking. What's that sound? What's that sound coming from the kitchen? The kitchen door was rattling on its hinges. Something in there was making a lot of noise. Millie pushed the door open and shone her flashlight inside. There it was, the washing machine, spinning around and around. See, just an old washing machine, said Millie. Now I told her, said Millie. Nothing to be scared of, Mr. Bunny. Her voice was a bit wobbly. The machine shuddered, groaned, and went still. See, I'm holding it there. See, nothing to be scared of. She backed out slowly and closed the door. Millie gripped Mr. Bunny tight. What was that? I will look like this. What was that? Mr. Bunny, what was that? Millie is talking. It was coming from the living room. This was the loudest sound yet. Low, deep rumbling. That was not the washing machine. That was not the cat. Millie held Bunny tighter. The boy, he flopped forward. She propped him back. I know, Mr. Bunny, I'm scared too, but we have to. She kept across the hallway and pushed open the living room door. She pointed her flashlight at the couch. Something was lying on it. Something was lying on the couch. A blanket was pulled away and bonking out the bottom. A huge, hairy foot. She Millie gulped. She took one more step closer. No one is sleeping, maybe. The thing was crawling. Then she saw a big hairy arm hanging off the side of the couch. Hairy feet, hairy arms crawling. Mr. Bunny, whispered Millie. I think this is Mr. Bunny. Mr. Bunny, whispered Millie. I think this is an actual monster, Millie. She took one more step. Then the smell hit her. Millie's nose scrunched up. It smells like the monster. The monster had. OMG, that is disgusting. The dog was on the floor next to the couch. He opened one eye, wrinkled his nose, and went straight back to sleep. Millie kept closer. She grabbed the edge of the blanket. This is Mr. Bunny. 1, 3. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. She pulled it back. The monster sat bolt upright. It was dead. Hair sticking up everywhere. Her eyes half open. Dribble on his chin. What? I'm awake. I was just resting my eyes. I thought you were a monster. The snoring and the smell. Dad looked offended. I didn't know the dog looked at him. Millie looked at him. You sound like a mother. Dad, come on, little one, back to bed. Dad carried Millie back upstairs. He drugged her and Mr. Bunny on one side, Pickles on the other. No more monsters, said Daddy. No more monsters, said Millie. Dad kissed her forehead and tiptoed to the door. Good night, Millie. Good night, Dad. Millie closed her eyes. No scratching, no tugging, no blurring, just silent, beautiful silence. Oh. Millie's eyes flew open. She grabbed her flashlight. She looked at Mr. Bunny. The end. Okay, that was the story of Millie. And what was that story's name? Millie and the Midnight Monster. That was a. Let's see one more. Now we will read Whiskey Princess and let me see it. The Three Egg Race. One second. The Great Egg Race. You want it? The Great Egg Race. It's let me open it. The Great Egg Race. I don't know what is this. Okay, let's read. The crisp spring. I will talk whisper. Okay. The crisp spring. 1 second sneeze. The crisp spring air crackled with nervous excitement in Buttercup Valley. There's a valley in Buttercup. There's a valley Buttercup. With spring air crackle excitement. Today was the day for the great egg race. Today was the day for the great egg race. The annual event. Where all the woodland creatures. This annual event where every woodland creatures competed for the coveted Golden Egg Trophy. There's a trophy called as Golden Egg Trophy. Annually, it happens in a Buttercup Valley. Okay, and it was springy airs, so pleasant. Little bunny with bright with bright white eyes and fur as white as daisy hopped on his hind legs, bouncing with anticipation. This year he was determined to win. There was a bunny who was determined to win this year. Okay. Let's see what happened. He has practiced for weeks. Weaving through all the tall grass, he trained jumping in grass, leaping or falling, logs his basket proudly woven from colorful reeds hung tightly on his back, ready to be filled with the most beautiful, perfectly balanced eggs. Something was there. The booming voice echoes through the clearing and all creatures, great and small. The great egg race is about to begin. Whole hood, the wise owl perched on a gnarled oak, announced his amber eyes gleaming in announcement. Okay, the starting line was a chaotic sea of fur, feathers, and scales. Feather was quick. Escaped little bunny as a limb patch up with a nervousness, quite destiny. I think I'm getting confused. What is happening? I read something else. This is a very confusing story. Yeah, something else. Okay, let's read this one. The floor is lava. This one is a good one. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon. Dad was reading the paper. Mom was making tea. Grandma was in her chair with a cup of tea and her show on, volume up loud. The chicken was shouting. We have to wait. Okay, that thing will keep quiet. I don't know what is wrong. He just shouted 5 minutes before the chicken. He will shout again. I don't know. I think his clock is glitched in his mind. I think the chicken only shouts in a time of hours. He only shouts and the 1 hour is been done. Then he shouts, but that chicken, which was just shouting, which might shout again, is shouting in the sequence of 5 to 10 minutes. That means his time is fast forwarded. He is from the future. Let's continue with the story. Ignore that chicken. Okay. The story was the ground is a lava. Am I right? The floor is a lava. Okay. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon. Dad was reading the paper, was making a tea. Grandma was in her chair with a cup of tea and her shoe up, volume up loud. Then Jasper, there's one person, Jasper shouted it. The floor is lava. Jasper jumped on the couch. Okay. His sister Rosie, Rosie, jumped on the armchair. Buster's tennis ball rolled to the back of the seat. Dad threw his paper in the air and leapt onto the coffee table. Crash! Mom grabbed her tea and climbed onto the kitchen counter. Clang! Splash! Everyone was safe. Grandma hadn't moved, still watching her show, still sipping her tea. She hadn't heard a thing. I'm getting to the kitchen, said Jasper. There's snacks. He jumped from the couch toward the cushion on the floor. Missed. He grabbed the curtain. Down came the curtain. Down came the curtain. Down came Jasper. He landed right at Grandma's feet. Grandma looked down. You alright, love? She went back to her shoe. Jasper's in the lava, screamed Rosie. He's out. Jasper sat on the floor next to Grandma, arms crossed. No fairy, he muttered. Dad's tea was on the kitchen counter across the lava. He stretched one foot toward the bookshelf. He stretched one foot. This story is also getting confusing, but still let's see. He stretched one foot towards the bookshelf. One had my mental piece. He was doing the splints between two pieces of furniture. Easy peasy, he sat through, drifted. His legs started shaking. His fingers were so close to the almost there. Dad's in the lava, screamed Rosie. He's out. I am melting, shouted Dad. Is this what is this? Is this story or what? This story is also getting confused to me. No. I will wait something else now. If the story is not getting to me, I will know. I won't take it. Next one. Only, yes, 2 stories. Half. 1 story only. Okay. Let's read one more. Bubble trouble. Bubble trouble. Benny's dancing shoes. Benny's dancing shoes. Let's read. Okay, Benny's dancing shoes. Let's read that thing. Benny stared at the calendar on his phone. Okay. He had a big red circle on today's date. Big red circle. Oh no. Benny whispered. The big dance show is tonight. Big dance show is tonight. Benny was nervous. His tummy felt like it was full of fluttery butterflies. Okay. Benny was nervous for the dance. Okay. His tummy felt like it was full of fluttery butterflies. But he needed to be brave. reached under his bed, pulled out his brand new dancing shoes. Benny reached under his bed, pulled out his brand new dancing shoes. Whoosh! Winds. They were bright red sneakers with sparkly white laces. Sparkly. He pulled on the left shoe. He tied the right shoe. Suddenly his left foot lifted in the air, something like that. Then his right foot wiggled. Benny didn't move. Benny didn't move them. They moved by themselves. Got it. Chap. Benny tried to walk to the kitchen for breakfast. Okay. Benny is trying to reach to the kitchen for the breakfast. But he didn't. He cha down the hallway. Cha. Whoa, yelled Benny. It was so fast because his foot was moving on its own because of its shoes. He sat at the kitchen table to eat his food, which is cereal, something like that. But his red sneakers had other items. He sat on the kitchen table to eat, but his red sneakers had other ideas. Thump, wiggle, jiggle. His feet drummed on the floor. His feet drummed on the floor. His feet drummed on the floor. Splash. Milk flew everywhere. Meow. The cat yowled. Sorry, Benny's killed. My feet won't listen. Benny screamed, my foot won't listen. After cleaning up the mess, it was the time to walk his dog Buster. After cleaning the mess which his food made while eating the food of the kitchen, there was a time for his dog to take on a walk. And the dog's name was Buster. Buster. Come on, Buster. Time for a walk, Benny said. Okay. Buster sniffed a tree. Yes, Buster sniffed a tree. Benny tried to stand still, but his sneakers wanted to do disco. Benny spun around. Whoosh. He did a moonwalk, sliding down the sidewalk. Buster got tangled in the leash. He was inside because of his shoes. Benny spun faster and faster until he looked like a red tornado. So Benny spun faster and faster until he looked like a red tornado because he was wearing red shoes. Okay? He didn't walk the dog. He danced the dog dizzy. He did not walk the dog. He was making the dog look dizzy. He didn't walk the dog. He danced the dog dizzy and he got it right. At school, it was a time for PE class. What is PE? It's a games period. Today we are playing dodgeball. Announced Coach Murphy. There's a coach at school named Murphy. They announce we are playing dodgeball. Okay. Benny gulped dodgeball with dancing feet. This would be a disaster because he's wearing shoes. She's moving on its own. Okay, that's why he's worried. The game started. Tweet went the whistle. The game started. Tweet went the whistle. The coach went the whistle. Red rubber balls flew through the air. The balls flew the air. Benny tried to run. But his sneakers had other plans. They made him do a pallet. They made him do a pallet leap. Going. They made him do a array. Okay, I got distracted by some people. People were talking, and where were we? We were. His sneakers had other plans. They made him get lap. Ball was right under him. Okay. You can see there is a sweat. I went somewhere to check someone. The idiot people, making noises. Anyway, let's continue with the story. Let's complete this story. I don't know anything mistake. So red rubber balls flew through the air, whoosh whoosh whoosh. When he tried to run, but his sneakers had other plan. They made him bullet lap going. Okay, there was game spirit in his school. They were playing dodgeball. Now I remember. Okay. They made him a bullet leap. They made him a bullet leap. Boing. Ball whooshed right under him. Whoa, said Penny. Another ball came flying at his head. His shoes spun him in a perfect twirl. The ball missed him by an inch. His classmates stared with their mouths open. A ball, I'm gonna quickly fast complete. A third ball zoomed towards Ben's stomach. His sneakers made him do the splits. Because I'm getting sweat a lot. Because people made me lose my cool out there. Because they were not keeping silence. His sneakers made him do splits like the ball sailed right over him. How are you doing that? Shouted his friend Maya. Okay, one of his friends shouted. How are you doing that? Shouted his mother. I am not. Benny yelled back. It's my shoes. By the end of the game, Benny had leaped, spun and slid away from every single ball. Dodgeball. Okay, I remember it's a dodgeball. People throw balls and you have to dodge. Oh, so this Benny was doing doing skills with his help of shoes. He was the last one standing. Benny wins, cheered Coach Murphy. Okay, Coach name was Murphy. But Benny's face was bright red. Winning was nice, but dancing in front of everyone was embarrassing. Finally, it was night time, the big dance show. Benny stood behind the heavy velvet curtain. He could hear the crowd buzzing with voices. He was scared. He wanted to hide. His sneakers tapped nervously. His shoes. You are up, Benny, whispered his teacher. Benny shuffled onto the stage, Shuffle, shuffle, tap, tap. The bright spotlight, it hit his face. He tried to freeze. He tried to remember his dance, but his shoes kept wiggling. Twitch, twitch. The music started. It was a slow, pretty piano song. There was a song. Benny tried to take a small step, but the red sneakers didn't want slow. They wanted fast. Boing. Benny jumped high into the air. Gasp went the crowd. Suddenly the piano music sped up. It got faster and faster. His feet tapped. His feet tapped faster than a woodpecker. Clickety clack, clickety clack. Benny tried to stop, but his legs kicked out in the wild can. But he did a cartwheel. Whoosh! He did a smart somersault flip. He spun on his head like a spinning top. The audience eye went wide. They had never seen a dance like this. Benny realized something strange. He wasn't scared anymore. He was having fun. He let his feet fly. He wiggled his arms. He made his funny face. Made a funny face. The crowd started laughing. The good kind of laughing. Now for the big finish. The sneakers launched Benny across the stage in a For the big finish, the sneakers launched Benny across the stage in a giant leap. Zoom, tada! He landed in a perfect split. The music stopped. The room was silent for a second, then rolled. The crowd, ah! The crowd jumped up. They clapped, they cheered, they whistled. The Benny smiled so big. His face hurt. How much big is this story? Is this no. His red sneakers finally stopped wiggling. They were tired and so were Benny. He had learned something important. Sometimes being silly and having fun is better than being perfect. His worries, he had danced them all away. The end. It was a big story, but a cool story, and good and funny at the same time. No bubble trouble. Let's see what is bubble trouble. What? Bubble trouble? I hope it's a small one. Let's see. Bubble trouble. Okay, let's go. Quickly. I will talk like this now. Bath time. Mia called mom. Mia ran upstairs. She loved bubble baths. Mom turned on the water and handed Mia the bubble bath bottle. Remember, said Mom, just one cap full, that's plenty. One cap full, that's plenty. Okay, said Mia. Call me when you are ready to get in, Mom said, stepping into the hallway. Mia looked at the bottle. One capful made some bubbles. But more would make more bubbles, Mia thinks. And more bubbles mean more fun. Mia unscrewed the cap. Click, 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 click. The entire bottle poured into the tub. The entire bottle poured into the tub. This is going to be awesome, Mia cheered. The water started bubbling. First, a few bubbles appeared. Then more bubbles. First, a few bubbles appeared. Then more bubbles appeared. Okay. They grew as tall as Mia. then as tall as the sink. Then they reached the ceiling. Oh, said Mia. But the bubbles didn't stop. They kept going. They spilled over the tub like a foamy waterfall. They filled the entire bathroom. Mia was swimming in bubbles now. The bubbles pushed under the bathroom door into the hallway. Mom, Mia called. Mom, Mia called. Too late. The bubbles poured down the stairs like a fluffy avalanche. There was avalanche of bubbles to the stairs. They filled the living room. Mia's teddy bear started floating up. The TV remote drifted past. Boing, Dad's sandwich lifted right off his plate. Hey, come back here. Dad leaped for it. Mia's brother dove for his floating video game controller. Splat, they both landed in the foam. No, I was winning, the other shouted from the roof. Even Whiskas, the cat, floated by the paws, paddling in the air. The cat was paddling in the bubbles, okay? Yeah. But the bubbles kept coming. They pressed against the windows. The front door cracked. Clicked. Click. Sound came. Then, ding dong, pizza delivery. Called a voice outside. There was pizza delivery outside, but there was an avalanche inside of bubbles because of Mia's full bottle in the bathtub. Don't open that door, Mia yelled. Mia yelled, don't open that door. Open that door. Don't open that door. But it was too late. The door burst open. A massive wave of bubbles exploded into the street like a tsunami of foam. The pizza guy's mouth dropped open. The pizza guy, whoa! The bubble wave swallowed him completely. He was swallowed by bubble. He disappeared in the foam. Obviously, his pizza box floated away down the street. The entire street filled with bubbles. The mainland slid down the sidewalk on his mailbag. Mailman slid on the sidewalk on his mailbag. The mailman was sliding in the roads with his bag. Mr. Chen's dog tried to catch bubbles. Snap, snap, shop. Kids ran outside the started making bubbles engines. People made it. Bubble angels outside. Mr. Lopez rubbed his glasses. No. Mr. Lopez outside rubbed his glasses. Snow in summer, but they were bubbles. Okay. Bubbles engulfed the cars on the street. The whole neighborhood looked like a giant bubble party. Whole neighborhood was looking like a giant bubble party. Okay. Mia waded through the foam. This was a lot of bubbles. Way too many bubbles. Just then, the sky grew dark. The sky grew dark. The sky grew dark. Rumble, thunder. Plop, plop. Rain started falling. Pop, 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 pop. The raindrops hit the bubbles. They started popping. Pop, 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 pop. Everywhere. The teddy bear floated down. Plop. The cat landed on the couch. She immediately started licking her paw like nothing happened. Yeah. The cars reappeared looking sparkly. The car was clean because of the bubbles. The pizza guy emerged from the foam. That will be $15. He said this. That will be $15. He said this. The street cleared, all the bubbles washed away. Finally, everything was back to normal. Well, everything was very, very wet and clean. Everything was very, very wet and clean. Mom came downstairs and looked at the soggy, bubbly mess. Mia bit her lips. Mom, I didn't listen. Mom, I didn't listen. I used the whole bottle. I'm sorry. Mia said. Mom hugged her. Thank you for being honest. That's very brave. I should have listened, Mia said quietly. You should have, Mom, but we all make mistakes. What matter is telling the truth. From then on, Mia used exactly one capful, perfect bubble just then. Just the right amount. And Mia learned the following direction isn't boring. It keeps your teddy bear from floating away. And it keeps pizza delivery. Guys, try. It keeps pizza delivery. Guys, try. By listening to the following directions. Okay, and it keeps your teddy bear by floating away. Okay. The end. That's the story end of Bubble Bath. This was very unique and I liked it. I think that's enough. Let me see any short one if you want. Listen to me. 1 second, I have to quickly listen. I don't think there will be. I don't think there will be any shorter story. No. I think that's enough. Okay. So, how did you like? Which one was your favorite? Which one was your favorite story? The dancing shoes. I think I like the dancing shoes. Then the bubble trouble. Then the first one. The first one was also good. The Millie and the Midnight Monster. That one was also really good. Yes. And the floor is lava was a bit of confusion. I thought it will be a good one, but okay. Take care of yourselves. Okay, bye. Take care.